Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is April 29th, and right now we're looking at the infrared satellite imagery. You can see our frontal system pushing across the Pacific Northwest as we speak. You can see it interacting with the terrain that is known as the Cascades of Washington and Oregon. You can also see it across the Rocky Mountains there. It did bring some precipitation across the area. We'll take a look at what is to come next. If you look out across the Pacific Ocean, you can see this anticyclonic rotation there. This is the next ridge that will be building in behind this frontal system. We'll take a look at the extended forecast as always as we go through the video here this morning. And if we scroll back through here, you can see the mid-level water vapor loop of our frontal system swooping through as we went through early this morning, late last night and early this morning. Now here we are with the visible satellite imagery. You can see we are fairly well socked in here across the most southwest BC, western Washington, portions of Oregon as well, the coastal areas. There is some sun to be had, but it's kind of few and far between out there, mainly east of the Cascades. As we go this morning, you can see across California and Nevada, much more sunny skies here compared to what's going on here up across the Pacific Northwest. And if you want to chat with me and whatnot, go to the community tab on Patreon and leave me some images of some weather that you are seeing out and about. You know, anything from puddles and rain in your backyard to tornadoes or lightning strikes or supercells or whatever you get. Any kind of cool weatherscapes you want to share with me, go to the Patreon page. It's a good way to help support the channel as well. The link is in the description down below. Here's lightning strikes over the last 24 hours. Some of the higher terrain of British Columbia got a few lightning strikes there, and some of southern Idaho, portions of Nevada. Nothing for Washington, Oregon, or Montana, at least western Montana yesterday. And if you want a nice affordable weather station that does record lightning strikes, it tells you how far away from your house they are. Yeah, this is a good one. It does solar radiation as well, haptic rain gauge, ultrasonic anemometer, highly recommended. Click on that link down below. So now looking at the European model, you can see this is our frontal system. That's a little wrinkle there in the flow. And we're looking at 18,000 feet. You can see that trough swinging by off to the east as we go on into tonight towards tomorrow morning. And yep, there you have it. There's our next ridge, setting up shop here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Look to be fairly nice days here across the region. As we go through the day Friday, you notice that this next trough is on its way. So it's going to start spreading clouds as we go through the day Friday, but still should be a fairly nice day here. And you can kind of see how this energy is being elongated, and this frontal system will be weakening as it comes into contact with the Pacific Northwest. A lot of the energy moving down into California there, and this system has been downtrending in its strength though for the Pacific Northwest, and rainfall amounts in turn have been downtrending also. So again, ridging as we go through Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, transition day, Saturday we bring that frontal system through, and then maybe building another ridge here as we go on in towards the later portion of the weekend and on into the early portion of next week. So lightning flash density potential as we go through the day today. You can kind of see there is some of this instability is going to be around for the Idaho Panhandle, some of eastern BC, maybe clipping northeast Washington, western Montana under the gun, and again portions of Idaho, the Rocky Mountains will have the chance for a thunderstorm or two as we go through the day today. Then we scroll on in through tomorrow afternoon, just residual stuff here across the Rocky Mountains and pushing off to the east as we go on into the day Wednesday. And now looking at composite reflectivity. So this is where we are right about now. It's about 8 a.m. And if I back up right there, you subtract 7 from the 15, you get 8 a.m. Tuesday morning. Still some of the shower activity out there, but that should be on the wane today. However, some of these clouds are going to be hanging around for the central Puget Sound, for example. Some light precipitation probably ongoing off and on as we go through the day today. But as we go through tonight and into tomorrow morning, we put an end to that precipitation. Wednesday, largely dry here across the region. Same thing for Thursday. And if we look at total precipitation in inches, so this is last night's European run here. So maybe we should just switch to the North American model. Let's just do that for this round. And we're going to take a look because this one is updated more recently. And you can kind of see just the hit and miss precipitation amounts. Maybe that convergence zone back up into the Cascades, higher amounts across the higher terrain, a few more hundreds for Seattle, maybe a couple more hundredths of an inch rain for Portland, and then we dry off for the next 2 days. Now, looking at the daily 2-meter max temperature, this is today, Tuesday, April 29th. There's Seattle, maybe up towards the upper 50s there. Southwest BC, 60, mid-60s for Portland. A bit warmer there as you go east of the mountains. Some 70s out there for eastern Washington. We'll scroll off in towards tomorrow and see things bouncing back as we go through Wednesday. You can see the temperature starting to jump up there for Seattle, getting into the mid-60s again, maybe 70 for Portland. But then look at Thursday. I mean, you're talking about lower 80s for Portland. Looks like mid-70s, some upper 70s western Washington, southwest BC into the mid-70s also. Yeah, so we are going to be warming up here on Thursday and Friday. Another fairly nice day. And look at Friday, probably the warmest day east of the mountains. Some upper 80s showing up for the Tri-Cities out there. So heads up for that. Nice warm weather here coming up Thursday and Friday. But then look at Saturday. We cool things down as we bring this frontal system ripping across the region here. I shouldn't say ripping. It's not that strong of a frontal system there. Fairly modest, but it will cool us down. You can see one more decently warm day into the interior valleys of British Columbia, Idaho into the lower 70s on the day Saturday. Then Sunday, we start to bounce those temperatures back a little bit. There's Monday, maybe bringing that next ridge in here as we go through next week, as you can see. Taking a look at the artificial intelligence, this goes out 15 days here. So there's that little wrinkle. That is that frontal system that we're dealing with right now. Look at the onshore flow. Ridge builds as we go through Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, kind of the transition day. Saturday, we cool down with this frontal system and trough up and down the west coast of North America. And then we bring the next ridge in here as we go through later this weekend on in towards early next week. And if I look off into the extended forecast, that's been having some interesting troughing out over the Gulf of Alaska and right off the west coast here. And that would be swinging frontal systems and could bring us some active weather as we go on into the first half of May coming up here. You can see that trough kind of centered right over the Pacific Northwest. This is a ways out in the forecast here, but it's just kind of showing you that we may not be done with some troughing and some active weather here across the Pacific Northwest. So we'll watch that here over the next few days and scrolling through that one more time. There's next week's ridge, and then maybe that troughing setting up over the Gulf of Alaska, keeping us active here and maybe bringing additional precipitation chances with it. So taking a look here, you can see that as we dry off this week here, there's that frontal system as we go through Saturday, Friday night and Saturday, and then that trough gets active through the extended period. You can kind of see how that would bring multiple rounds of precipitation. But again, it's way off into the forecast, just fantasy right now. Here's the next 15 days, kind of the mixed bag here across a lot of the regions. Some portions of eastern Washington above, western BC as well. So overall averaged out pretty close to normal here over the next couple of weeks. If we look at the 6 to 10 day, you can see the below normal signal across a lot of Washington and Oregon. There's the 6 to 10 day. A lot of the west and central portions of the USA in the above average signal as we go through May 8th. So anyway, click like and subscribe. We'll do this all again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.